Once your Bokashi bucket is filled to capacity, you'll have to move on to the next phase, which is bringing it outside and mixing it with the soil. When you open up your Bokashi bucket, what you notice is that your food waste will still look the way it did when you put it in there, kind of preserved. The reason for this is that the food waste is being fermented or pickled inside of the Bokashi bucket. It's not fully breaking down. It won't fully break down until that fermented food waste is mixed with the soil. You have a few options available to you for burying your Bokashi bucket and mixing it with the soil, depending on where you live and what you want to do with the soil. So now that you've chosen a space in your yard to bury the Bokashi bucket, let's look at how you're going to dig your trench. You're going to take your shovel and dig your trench about a shovel head wide, a shovel head deep, and approximately 3 feet long. It's really important that you spread the food waste out. The thinner the layer of food waste on the ground, the faster it's going to break down. Next, take some of the soil that you've pulled aside and mix it up with the food waste that's already inside of the trench. The last step in this process is to cover up the food waste with the soil you've already dug out and pat it down with your shovel. Pests and rodents shouldn't be a problem, but if you're concerned about it, you might want to dig your hole a little bit deeper. I'd say about 18 inches should be good enough. If you live in an urban area and don't have the yard or the space to bury your Bokashi bucket in the ground, there's no need to worry. There's plenty of options available to you. Burying your fermented food waste in a bin or a planter box is a great alternative to burying it in a yard. The type of soil you use really doesn't matter. Anything from your local home and garden center or hardware store should do just fine. I recommend at least a 25 to 30 gallon bin to bury your fermented food waste. The first thing you want to do is spread some soil out on the bottom of the empty bin, about a 2 to 3 inch layer. You're going to dump your fermented food waste inside of the bin on top of the soil that you just laid down and spread it out with a shovel. Once the food waste is mixed up with the soil, you're going to cover that up with about another 2 to 3 inch layer of soil right on top of that. You're going to put the lid back on, seal it up. In about 3 to 4 weeks, you should have a bin full of nutrient-rich soil.